Yeah. Good evening, all.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Good
So
evening.
it is again my turn for you to hear from me. But the topic is really very much connected to all of us. Many of us, we have faced such kind of things in our life. Whenever, wherever we require to overcome the hurdle, barriers, or failures. So everybody has the experience on their own from their childhood to current level, whether whatever the positions you are, whether you are a professional, whether you are a leader, whether you are a social person. So any place, it would be a kind of supporting things. The topic is resilience. Resilience is the bouncing back to the normal when we are getting down in our level, or something we could not able to meet out to overcome the challenges or barriers or any hurdles like that. So today the topic we could see, it's slightly covering with some connection to our daily life, our day-to-day life. So these cartoon pictures already revealed the way how do they play. During the COVID time, many professionals, many social workers, government agencies, private sectors, they could circumvent these kind of barriers or the pressurized condition. Even for schools, they wanted to switch over from offline environment to online environment. It was the biggest task for many people, those who may not familiar with many online tools or softwares or any kind of apps. So it made them to overcome with those kind of learning and exploration. Sometimes it is the gap between the two elements where the people could not able to balance to connect, or they need certain kind of value added support. That is the way the schools and other atmospheres, they are focusing very much for the teachers in the ecosystem. Without supporting the teachers to equip well for learning and supporting to the educational ecosystem, they could not able to achieve anything greater. So whenever it is possible, then educational governing bodies, they are enriching the capability to build on the teachers' ability. That's the policy they are having. Just it is an example like that. Many things, when the offline to online, many working experienced people, they could not manage the circumstances to transform. So we have to make certain kind of bridging over to cross the gap. And there are leaders who are pioneering and visualizing the future endeavors or future goals. But many people, they may not overcome or they may not follow to the leader's perspective. So it is the way the principal or correspondent or the dean of the faculty, director of the institutions, mostly they wanted to take this kind of role. They have to cultivate the enough level for people who can build up their skill sets and the purpose to achieve and follow the necessary things to reach the goal. So these are all the cartoons I wanted to narrate to you. So first of all, we have to predict our comfort zone, where we are dealing with the comfort zone. Many people, they are feeling very great when they are in the comfort zone. But few people, they are having the fear content. They are scared enough for doing something which is not not to be very familiarized, or not to be in the routine condition. So it is making certain kind of fear case for them. But there are people who wanted to remove this fear case, and they want to improve their strategy through continuous learning. That is the policy everywhere now going on. So we must need to find the way how to lift up the community through this kind of engaging the learning pattern. That is the powerful tool for the people who wanted to do the necessary things for the condition. Another one is the growth or expansion or enriching kind of capacity. where we have to circumpass or surpass the milestones which are making the new pathways for us. First of all, we have to define the goal sets which are making the new era for us. So the resilience is the ability to adapt in difficult conditions or situations to overcome the stress or any suffering or suffocation kind of environment. So the experienced people are predicting the way how to litigate or how to mitigate to overcome the conditions. The picture like desert, we could not see many plants, but those plants are getting adapted to live and flourish in the desert. They are the plants of the desert like that. So other way, what is resilience and why we have to give the importance for this kind of bouncing back kind of attitude. Whenever it is possible, we have to build our capacity to accept certain level of incubating our level to create different kind of personality development or some kind of growth perspectives like positive attitude or having certain kind of experience in your life. It may be learned from your surrounding people, or it may be learning from certain kind of book or the stories which are narrating the leadership qualities or attitude. That is the way the social connections and the social endeavors are very important. If you are alone, you cannot able to lift up any personal development. But if you are in the group, whenever the adversity comes, the group people may support you to lift up, they may support you to overcome the challenges. Even in the group of people in the office or any premise in the educational ecosystem, sometimes you may have this kind of hurdles or sufferings. Then you can request your fellow colleagues, they will help you to overcome those kind of things. That is the change you have to procure for your attitude to get the relationship positively and procure the help in the right manner. That is very important. We can define resilience in these kind of jargons. It might be a flexibility for your planning. We should not fix our planning. Time to time, we have to review, reanalyze, and re-engage our activities as per the conditions or the situations, whether it is the right plan for you to focus. Withstand any kind of problems or shocking kind of abilities that you have to analyze in a mature manner or get the help from the knowledgeful source or expertise group. That way you have to overcome or getting sick in the family, getting sick for any friends during the time of working. So you must need to go with the right person to help and that kind of attitude. In Singapore, mostly the workplace safety health, they are arranging these kind of helpers who learn certain kind of value added things when the accident happen or incident happen. So they are the pioneering people to support for those kind of incident to manage. That is the way we have to find it out. Emergency response team, they have to arrange that kind of situation, who are having that kind of learning experience to support for the needy people, or even first aid kind of support. Many people, they don't know how to deal with the kind of situation. So the first aider can help to overcome the problems. The first aiding kind of things they can do better way before the ambulance arrive to the respective place. Adapt to the change. As I already mentioned, change is the fixed one. So we must need to understand whatever the way it is challenging us to get into the change, we have to adopt it. Pursue your goal. You have to work on your routines to analyze it, whether you are reaching to the goal or task to complete. That is the measurement you have to follow. You could tabulate yourself for day-to-day activities or weekly activities or monthly activities or yearly planning kind of things. These are all the values you have to procure. Anticipate the risk. Risk redemption or risk management is another kind of attitude. Many people, they are missed. They don't want to analyze the risk factors because either they are having the fear or they don't want to get into that kind of risky environment. But in Singapore, they are practicing risk management. They wanted to go and pursue any kind of activities in the public or in the premise. Whenever it is possible, they wanted to find out the risk to eradicate, or making some alternatives to reduce the risk. That kind of policy we must need to adopt. protect the weak spots. You have to find out your failure case and find out the weakness which are going to make the next level of success could not achieve. You have to eradicate the failures or the weakness. Then only you can find out the success pathways. The modern definition of resilience simply narrated, it should be a kind of advancing your environment, advancing your capacity, advancing your goal sets, which are very much demanded as of now. Despite you have to prepare your proactive condition. When any adversity comes, your proactive measurements are making you to be helpful and save you from the failures. Adversity, many environment, especially the medical environment, adversity is ruling a big role. So they have to find out the large or small things which are happening every day, but it is providing the certain challenges. They have to find out the alternative way to overcome the adversity. Resilience versus resilient. The stress always the stimulating factors to create the power to resilience. Uh, but we have to find out how to narrate, how to define, how to find it out to rule out from our routine things like adversity, trauma, tragedy. How do we process it? Without making the process, you cannot achieve the results. So mediating process may involve with the examples like your family members can help you. Sometimes the transportation may not favor. You have to request your family member to drop you in the nearing place, or the communities which are powerful for you, like educational environment or social environment. Many people they associated with the different kind of societies, organizations. They are giving some empowerment support for those people. That way also you can process your resilience. Schools, social policy making people, or some emotional, the counseling people who are controlling the emotions for the staff members like that. Problem solving skills as per the most demanded and required things as of now. In the employment category, it is the top listed kind of recruitment process. Problem solving skills due to your experience, your knowledge, or your attitude only supporting for the people, positive attitude. So the resilient personality we can define such a way who are very much positive, who are very much prevailing to help for other people. Mostly they are working beyond the box or extra mile oriented people. So that way you have to provide certain kind of value addition to the environment. It is beyond with the expectations to the organization. That is the star value you have to prepare for yourself. And who are very stronger in adverse conditions or worse conditions, who are not losing their temper or getting angry or something. So that way you have to make yourself very calm, making yourself balance in different kind of situation. That is the power of resilient you have to build for yourself. Education environment has very much demanded because they have to make discipline oriented kind of atmosphere. They are expecting a lot of commitment and contributions from the different stakeholders who are involving in the educational system. It is not only for the staff members or non-teaching staff members, also from the social cause or social ecosystem, as well as individual person who are involving for that stakeholding environment, like family people or the students who are learning in different kind of situations, who are very much adaptive to learn faster, who are not adaptive to learn that much possible ways. So we have to support all these people. So it is always giving a lot of pressure for those kind of teachers who are involving and dealing with that kind of situation. But the management, they are expecting the positive, favorable results. So it is the condition for building certain kind of resilience pathways for those people who are involving with that kind of task oriented environment, especially in the educational ecosystem. So the resilience in the educational ecosystem, we can have two kind of things. One is the experience learned by their capacity to build up with the resilient capacity. And another way is the education, which are developing the new skills or making them to practice very comfortably. That is the way they can engage their profession in the teaching environment, or practicing certain kind of added values, like extracurricular added values, or making the social connections to the students, taking them for outdoor trip, or getting them to involve for certain kind of projects or assignments. All these things are making the power source for them to build on the students community. Challenges, as I already mentioned, COVID time, it was the challenge given to the ecosystem. But due course of time, now the new education policies are making the uh, big burden for the new learners. They have to overcome with a lot of things, and they have to build up the capacity how to adapt for the new education policy. So these are all the skills, 7 C's. These are all the ways we can build the resilient practice for the kids, competence, giving more confidence for believing on the system and working on the system, building the connections with the good relationship in the community. Characteristics, that is also very important. I already mentioned, you have to tell different stories or different real-time environment kind of connections, that is making the real characteristic paths they can choose. Contributions, that is also they have to help others or help to the society, either by manually or any other supporting elements they have to choose and provide the support. Coping to the different kind of task, exam time they are very much demanded for doing certain things, or if they are doing more extracurricular other activities, outdoor activities, they have to cope with the lessons to learn and improve their strategies. That is also very important. Controlling the measurements to control their task, control their achievements, control their ability to shine. So all these things are very important for the children to learn and explore. The other way we have to think the resilient person who wanted to make themselves to reflect. It is not the bending condition, but not to get the break from the profession, break from the values of the profession. So these are all the traits we have to build for the resilient people. It is very important for them how to deal with the problem, how to analyze it, how to overcome the difficult situation which are not favoring to their routine life. So these are all the values they have to build on their mental ability, emotional quotients, or any kind of situation. They have to find the right solution to improve. Other way, the resilience is giving the ability to bounce back. How do they able to plan for the challenges and adapting to the situations and making the recovery very quickly and adaptively. So the resilience inducing certain kind of false or fake involvement, like the mindfulness may not support for them, or they have to go with the kind of perseverance. Many people, they don't want to go overseas whenever it is possible, because they don't prepare, they don't find the right way how to manage their overseas trip, even for other states, even from one state to other state, because the language barrier, they don't have the familiarity to the location and all. So that is the way they are not willing to go for any conference, workshop, or any additional training kind of environment. These are all the barriers they have to find out, and they have to get the help from the right people how to change the challenge into the opportunities. Mostly the optimistic people are giving the hope for the team. So we have to go along with the positive mindset people. That is very important. That is giving the power for you to manage your failures, manage your tasks very comfortably. So the personal resilience is very, very important. Without your personal resilience, whatever the environment, whatever the situation, you cannot cope up well. So problem solving skills you have to enrich in your capacity, either on your own or you have to get from the right person. These are all the values you have to find out and mitigate for your situation. Family resilience, without family, nobody can live comfortably. So they have to set up certain beliefs which are giving meaningful or positive way to look for the problems or approaching the problems to solve it, or believing on the spiritual performance or spiritual hope. They have to get those kind of confident to raise in the family. Organizational level, as I mentioned, every person dealing with the organization may not be the same manner, but we need to find out the group which are making the real value for the organization. At least the organizational standards, they have to build the group performance towards with the task that will eradicate many problems. Like work-life balance, many family they are having this. I don't know, many of you already have that point in your resilient kind of things, how to manage your work-life balance. Communication, when you are making your communication very clear, emotionally touching to the people in their mind, and providing the capacity to solve their problems. These are all the values for proper communication when you are dealing with any neighboring people or team or any conditions like that. Types of resilience, that is through the training, which are very much demanded as of now in the workplace. That's why many people who are giving the emotional intelligence training or competency oriented skill sets to raise either soft skill or hardcore skills. These are all the values they have to build on the staff members in the workplace, how to plan well, how to achieve well for the tasks which are given to the team, especially in IT industry. They are having a lot of pressure because they are innovating, they are developing the new kind of things. It is always making them to be very stressful. Like that, many profession, not only their medical field or research field or government agencies who are dealing with the disaster kind of time, rescue operations for any dangers, all these things, firefighting kind of environment, all these things are very much demanded for the training which are making to feel better and resilient better. Okay. So we must need to plan well for the resilience. These four S strategies, solution for providing to the problem, sagacity, that is the wisdom or foresight, uh, the risk factors. When you are having forethought or foreseeing ability, then only you can find out the risk. Supporting element, that is either yourself on your own way, or you have to get the capacity from the team members or the organizational standards level. So these are all the values we must need to plan. The benefits, it is giving a lot of benefits, but we have to point out few here. You learn and achieve more academically or qualification oriented kind of things. The certifications for the authenticity, authority, or any kind of value added certification which are giving more power source for you, you become a better leader. Leadership quality begin with this kind of resilient quality. So without resilient quality, nobody will become a leader. Then they cannot lead the team. Making the better relationships to the through the proper communication to the team. If it is very precise and clear, you are the better leader. You discover the new skills without replenishing or refreshing your new skills. You cannot learn and explore well. So learning, lifelong learning is the another quality for the better leader. You have the better health. Without health, no wealth. So you must need to find out the way your lifestyle, your living style, your performance values are coordinating well to maintain your health status. Resilience in the leadership, it is the essential thing. You have to reframe yourself according to the situation or time in order to the changes, whether the position getting changed or the division getting changed or you are getting transferred to another environment. You have to find out how to reframe yourself. Get adequate sleep. That is also very important. It is relevant for your health because during the time of sleep, many mechanisms inside our body may not be coordinated well when you are awake or you are working. So the sleep is giving the regeneration or repairing capacity to the body. If you don't sleep well, due course of time, adverse effect will make the change in your metabolic system, and you may be a victim for chronic diseases. Find a substitute for sleep. That is the situation inside the home. should not disturb your sleep. That is also very important. Explore the power of positivity. Every day you have to go with some positive minded people who are supporting your positive mindset kind of stimulation. Hearing some motivational talk, believing on certain value addition, the stories or experience you learn from the surrounding, or looking for the person who are the model, ideal model for you. That way you can believe on certain values and build on your positive mindsets. This is the pyramid. It's a very complicated pictures, but very simple to narrate and summarize what is resilient, how to build your resilient, how to make yourself a positive mindset person and make more purposeful to live and lead better in your life. So all these things are accumulating the values for you. Our time is very small, but our values are very big, not only for ourselves, also for the community where we are living. Giving back to the society is the honor and it is the respect. We have to build our resilience properly and the situation to mitigate and manage well. You are the true leader to transform and making yourself fit into the environment as a model for others. Thank you for listening to me. Is there any discussion or something? We will discuss about that.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ram. It was
Thank
really
you.
a wonderful session. And now may I request the participants to kindly share their expressions, their experience, their thoughts, their questions, whatever you have regarding Dr. Ram's presentation. And then after that, we will move to the today's challenge. Do you have any questions or anything to add on? Yes, Fawzia, go ahead.
Yes, I have a question. Dr. Ram said, we have trainings also for resilience. So do we have such training like in Singapore? He's saying their trainings are there. Do we have in India also for resilience?
Yeah, it is the duty of the organization who are taking care of the staff members who are working for different tasks, and they have to provide the emotional intelligence and other performance values to manage in different kind of situation, especially the doctors who are working in the normal ward, who are working in the emergency section. Definitely it will be different. And who are managing the disaster time, right? The normal ward people, they could not able to endorse the necessary things to support for the disaster. So they have different kind of training. I heard Indian Institute of Management, Tiruchirappalli, they are providing the training for border force.
Okay.
Border force.
Okay.
They're not a military school, but they are providing the support and the training for the border workforce.
Okay.
So these are all the values, but we have to go and adopt with that kind of situation. Even our friend Brigadier Sushil Bazin, he wanted to give the talk. He wanted to raise the ability for the people. He wanted to transform from the military experience to the civil people.
Okay.
So these are all the true values, because uncertainty in the border, you could not able to expect the power source what you are getting at home in the real environment. You have to go with the rainy time, you have to go with the sunny time, you have to go with the fighting time. So many things are very uncertain. So you could think the different kind of support and services are requiring the proper training, even for offshore environment, for those who are traveling and servicing in the ship. So this kind of environment and flight also. So it is the kind of situation whenever the risks are very high, they need to be trained properly, and they have to avoid those kind of risk elements through certain way to raise up the control measures which are reducing the risk from the severity to the normal level.
No.
Even for schools also, it is the highly risk oriented, because you are dealing with the innocent children, right? They are not mature enough. But you see, thousands of students are traveling from home and reach to the school and return to the home. The safety is very, very high priority. Inside the campus, you are responsible.
Right.
Inside the campus, if they entered into the gate and exit out of the gate, you are responsible. You could see the risk factors. how much you have to analyze and eradicate through the control measures. Who are responsible in front of, just for the example, in front of the gate, the watchman or security guards. Then enter into the school and the classroom or the toilet premises or library or any other place, staircases or playgrounds. So you have to find out the way. So the proper training must need to be arranged by the organization by the way of expertise people who are expert in workplace safety and health management kind of thing. So they will find out. In Singapore, it is the high priority.
Okay.
Workplace safety is the high priority. It
High
is
priority.
covering almost more than 95%, except police posts and military posts, because they are dealing with uncertainty.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ram.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.